It's 7 o'clock, live from the Dirt Bike Test shop in beautiful, and let me tell you, the last couple days, except for the lightning strike that hit my house, has been beautiful. Pahrump, Nevada. This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday number 12. It's amazing we've done this that much. Tonight, my special guest, finishing up his tacos, is Chris Barrett. He will be here to fill in the gaps when I start staring at my computer screen and have technical glitches and try to figure out how this thing all works. But we're getting better. Every week we try to improve one or two steps along the way. And I always say we have big, big plans. And everybody's like, you always say that. I do. I have big, big plans because I'm not very good at doing two things at once. I'm good at doing too much at once. And that's why we have big plans. So to get things started, tonight our tequila for today is what? Oh, not so quick there, Chief. What do you guess? You're never going to guess the tequila we have tonight. You got to guess it before we get to have a little bit. Did you bring a glass? You got one? You got one for me?
I got one. This is
okay.
my glass.
So Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is where we talk about dirt bike and dirt bike related products. I can answer 9 out of 10 questions thrown at me as long as they don't have to do with silicone content of tires or the formulation of fuel, right? Is that the other thing that somebody asked about? Yeah, so those are the good stumpers. We will try to answer your questions. We'll talk about what we've been testing, what we've been doing, and we've been doing a whole lot. And I'm still like kind of warm from riding today. How was the riding today, Chris?
The riding was awesome.
Yeah, so
Dirt was perfect.
No, it wasn't perfect. Yesterday afternoon was perfect. I'm a connoisseur of dirt. If there's something
there yesterday.
Yeah. No, you saw, well, so when we started riding around the little test track, the loop at the end of the day, you saw the tracks.
Yeah.
And you could see, when you see that, you know that was perfect dirt. So it was pretty good today. I mean, tomorrow it's going to be horrible, but today was pretty good. So that is we've been out riding. So today I rode 2 different kinds of KTM 500s, an older one and a new one. The Yamaha WR450F and the Honda Sierra 450X 2019 models, both of those. And we finally got our GYTR exhaust for the Yamaha. So we put that on there and we started doing our 450X Yamaha kind of comparison. And that's what we've been spending today doing, other than the part where we were just riding.
For most of the day.
Yeah, and at that point we had a Honda 450X and a newer KTM 500 together, because it's like we're always comparing stuff, and they may not be direct comparisons because the X is not a street legal bike and the KTM 500 is, but some people use them in very similar manners. I do, for instance. I know I need a license plate for a lot of the stuff that I do, but there's a lot of stuff that I do that I don't need one, and those are the kind of questions that you have and ask, and so that is, we will be able to answer those. I'm going to watch the scrolling thing here on the chat room to kind of poke up on questions. We've got a couple things. Okay, who guessed the tequila? Anybody? I don't see it. Nobody. I know, because you can't guess it. Bring over the Ragosa.
Yeah, it's coming over.
Yeah, so this is my good buddy George. I think he's there. Not George from Romero's. This is George from Sacramento, and George managed to export this from Mexico via his wife, and had it dropped off at my house. This is pretty good stuff. This is, I think, my 212th or something like that tequila. I'll let you go ahead and have the first little.
I say we only have one glass.
I thought we had more than one glass here, but anyways, I'll put that there so you can take a picture of it so you remember what it is. You can have the first little bit, and it's not shooting tequila. That's a sipping tequila, by the way.
Oh, gotcha.
So, anyways, that's where we're at with the tequila. He'll tell you how it is. I get to try some in a little bit.
That's nice.
That is really nice. Yeah, and you can't get it here in the States. I tried actually. He brought it. So George flew back from Cabo. He was supposed to go down there to go riding, but it was a long story. But he came back with these little tequilas, and brought those and that stuff. And even we have silver and some other ones. That stuff's pretty good. So we will. I've got something I'm going to announce at 7:15. I don't know if you watched our Instagram posting today, but I've got a little thing I'm holding ransom for. So we'll show you that at 7:15. I have a couple questions that we have off of the bottom of our tests. So when you see product tests and tests on dirt bike tests, down at the bottom we have a discuss panel down there. That's a kind of a moderated form, and we always go through there at least once a week, when we're not riding, and we can answer those questions. I'm going to pull some of those questions up because a few of them are a little complicated, and if I can just talk as opposed to type, it's so much easier. So that's where it's mine.
That one's yours.
Yeah. So I will talk those answers instead of type them. We have some questions about the Yamaha Power Tuner, so it means an older WR450X. We've been playing with the one on our current one a little bit, a whole lot in the stock pipe, and today we got the modified one, so we played with that, and I'll answer those questions there. So there's a lot of different ways you can communicate with us, whether it's through the Facebook posts where we do this live, the YouTube where we repost this, and then we go back and look at what was asked last week to try to finish up the conversation on things that I shorted you on, because I'm always holding information back. And then, of course, there's our website, which is www.dirtbiketest.com. That's the hub. That's where everything's at. And you can find these shows archived back. Pretty soon there'll be podcasts and all kinds of stuff up there for you to use. Who's BT is watching tacos in hand with Pacifico? That's confusing. So, Mark, yeah, BT. Who's BT? And Victor's out. Yeah, he's no. He's saying we're Baracho. He's calling Baracho on us. It's like we haven't even gotten started. Good thing we're done riding, right? Okay, so this is a new segment that we're gonna start doing this. This is the Motion Pro Name That Tool. So we're gonna bring in an interesting tool every once in a while, and not talking about my co-hosts. Hold it down. Don't hold that up yet. I don't want to. So
you got to give me a heads up before we start.
Yeah, didn't you go through the show prep notes with me?
Not at all.
So we're gonna do the Motion Pro Name That Tool. I'm gonna hold this tool up in front of the camera here real quick, and then you've got to name it. And this is an easy one. And we'll see. We'll watch the chat board to see if anybody names it. Where's San Felipe Bob? Is he not on there tonight? I invited him to be like a moderator and everything. I don't see him because a lot of these questions aren't getting answered. But okay, here we go. 5,
You're
4,
gonna count down from 5.
3. You better be watching right now. Okay, here it is. This is the tool. We can see what it's called. We talked about this last week, and you know what tool is that? Okay, good. All gone. Okay, so you should have been watching like 5 seconds ago, and now you could answer what the tool is. We're going to wait because there's a little bit of a delay. Oh, geez, George. What, did you watch me prep for the show? I know why you know. I'll tell you why George knows. Okay, now we're getting some finger pointing going on in the shop here. So we had a leaky fork seal the other day. So this is a Motion Pro Sealmate. See, it says so right there. I wouldn't want to cheat you there. Sealmate like that, upside down. I am. I can see it. Yeah. No. So, anyways, the Motion Pro Sealmate. This very inexpensive little tool is capable of cleaning out your fork seals. If they get dirt and grease and stuff built up into them, and we talked about it last week, so I thought I'd bring it up, because if you get them from Motion Pro, they're super inexpensive. The reason George knows about it is because he snapped off. He used a lot of contact cleaners, maybe some really aggressive contact cleaner, maybe something that probably shouldn't have been used as cleaner in conjunction with that, and the fork seals just went to hell. I mean, they were squirting oil after he got done with it. And so Gabe and I were disassembling the forks, and we found pieces of the seal saver inside of the fork seal. So there is technique to using it. Don't use it too aggressive, and don't use it with improper cleaners. Just saying. So, anyways, yeah, it's so easy. Well, Dave, if it was so easy, how come you didn't beat George to the punch on that? So, anyways, that's our Motion Pro tool of the week. I've got a lot of different cool Motion Pro tools. I used to have a lot more cool Motion Pro tools. That's a long story. They're not being used right now. I can guarantee you, they're not being used if they even still exist. So, and it is 7-Eleven, so it's not 7:15 because I know a whole bunch of guys are gonna show up to try to figure out what the ransom is for their thing. WR450 and CRF 450X. First impressions.
First impressions. Well, I've been off bikes for a while, so
You've been riding a little bit lately.
a little bit, not much.
Yeah, not like the
Kinda
old
been
days.
out of the game. Yeah, exactly. I haven't been on a new bike for a couple of years now.
Okay, you're riding a 2017 KTM 500.
2018.
18. Okay, they're the
So
same.
it's a new bike.
It's a new bike.
But-
Most people are riding around in like 2004 KTM 400s, right?
Yeah.
So you're on.
Exactly.
Okay, you're on a new bike.
So on a new bike.
Yeah, you have a good basis for where things are at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And today you got to ride the Honda and the Yamaha.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, Honda, they both feel great. I can go right back to bike is good.
Yeah, and there's a good story behind this. So back when doing video tests was a thing, Chris used to test with me all the time at Dirt Rider. I had to remember which brand. So at Dirt Rider magazine, and he was one of our key test riders. And the reason I really liked working with Chris was he hated everything that I liked, and vice versa. He was coming off Supercross racing. He was a motocrosser. He liked trail riding, but he just didn't get
do it.
Yeah, didn't do it.
Yeah.
Didn't get it at the time. And so when we would test bikes, he was younger, more aggressive, had very specific needs, and he wanted his bikes to perform that way. Hard hitting, stiff suspension, especially the fork. A bike that slid. You like sliding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like to slide the back wheel. And so it was kind of fun to test with them because we'd come up with different, settings on bikes and have different reasons for liking them. So back to the whole thing where we sat down in front of the video camera. The idea was I would rattle off why I liked a bike and you would say why you didn't like it. And then we talk about the bike that you liked and you'd say why you liked it. And so I got done talking about this bike that I didn't really like so much. I had some issues with it. I don't remember exactly which one it was. And I babble kind of like I do right now. We sit Chris down in front of the video camera.
A red dot comes on.
Yeah, the red dot. Yeah, that means
Yeah.
we're recording.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, okay, Chris, go ahead. So what do you think of the whatever it was?
It's
good.
It's good. Motor's good. Like,
Okay,
you just
so-
don't know where to start.
Yeah, well, we started.
Like-
We wanted to make it real easy. So, like, why don't you talk about the power? And you go, yeah, I like the power. It's good. It's like describe it, Chris. Just come on, talk about it. Describe. Pretty soon we're standing behind him with beers, going, "You need some of these." It's like, how are we gonna?
Just
how
give
we-
me a computer. Give me 20 minutes. Let me type
Yeah.
it in.
But you
and
could.
I'll give you
But the funny thing is, we could sit there and talk about it, nonstop, and it was all good information, very articulate, and the camera came on, and then bingo, you shut down.
Exactly.
So okay, we're done with the Ragosa.
Oh.
That's off the. This is good. This is.
It is
I think I gave it 2 happy faces on my tequila chart. Would you like to try some? No, you're not. No, you don't like that. Yeah. 2 happy faces, and so yeah, pretty good. If you can find it, great. Bring me back some from Cabo. So, anyways, it is 7:15, and at 7:15, I decided I was going to hand me that little radio over there. So, I was out riding with my buddy Dave on our trails, and Dave found this. Does this look familiar? This is a little radio, and if anybody follows, and you should, if you're on the Instagrams, you should follow Wolf Enduro. That's WLF Enduro, and because they always have radios on, they're super well prepared. And I know one of their mottos is definitely no radio left behind, but they left this one behind. So, not sure what this guy is worth, and I'm sure one of your army will recognize this. So, okay, Luke, activate the forces. You need to get this guy back home. He's stranded. So just and we'll talk about how many new likes I've got to get on Instagram before this gets turned out. It's a bad, yeah. So it's a really nice radio. I don't know what frequencies you got. So anyhow, that was our ransom announcement for that. Again, follow WLF Enduro. Those guys, you see the pictures that they put on their Instagram account. Super cool. It's a really good group of guys, but I'm always kind of giving them a hard time about the radios because they're kind of tactical. They're like tactical off-road riding. I mean, they're just prepared, and they all have kind of pretty cool bikes. They really take their bikes seriously, and it's a big community and stuff, and it's kind of cool to see that. But I got to give them a hard time about the radios. I don't like radios. That's why they don't seem to work all the time. No, they're inconsistent. Helpful sometimes. So back to the WR. Did you figure out the words you're going to use to talk about that?
Start. Yeah, I don't know where to start.
Okay, so I'll tell you how we're going to start. I think we're going to start with. So you rode.
Well, you didn't let me ride the WR
stock. Yeah.
You just threw a pipe on it.
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't let me ride the Honda stock either.
No.
You already got the little tuner on
but
it.
They're kind of the same. They're in the same state of tune. That's the idea here. Is we're trying to keep it fair because it wouldn't have been fair to test the Yamaha with a stock pipe against a Honda because they're emissions compliant. They're kind of corked up. So we've tested them both stock, and the problem is my Honda, I had it earlier, so we've done some stuff to it, and then the Yamaha's kind of playing catch up on the modifications it's getting and everything. So the idea is when we get them to a really happy place, and I'm pretty happy with where the Honda's at.
Yeah.
That thing's working good.
See, now you're onto it.
Just because I said good, I'm in trouble. So just because it's working, okay. So we got the Honda working really good, and now we're trying to get the Yamaha there. And today was the first day with the pipe. They sent me some maps to try. Actually, the map they suggest with the GYTR competition ECU is all zeros. So it's designed to work with a muffler. So they're kind of both the same. And really, right now they're really two very different motorcycles accomplishing the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I would say, and I think I've said this before, that the Honda for me is better third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and the Yamaha is first, second, third, fourth.
Okay.
If you're riding in those, if you find yourself in first and second more, Yamaha. If you're in fifth and sixth, Honda.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've always liked a bike that sounds quiet. Doesn't sound fast, but it's real torquey and pulls, and that's kind of what the Honda was doing. That the Yamaha.
I should have let you ride the stock Yamaha.
Revy. Yeah, exactly.
Because
I was trying to tell you from the start.
I know, no. So the GYTR muffler, which is an FMF muffler, it's not a Q muffler. It's a more open. It's like a power core. It's loud. It's like a motocross bike loud. It does have a spark arrestor in it. So I'm actually going to look into trying to get a Q for that bike because I think that it would help. I know I can fix a lot of it with the tuner, which is free, by the way. It's an app on your phone, and we play around with it. It's super easy to use. I think that'll help some of it, but I think I would rather have a quieter muffler overall, and then it'll help kind of tame some of the power delivery. Because which one's aggressive?
Oh yeah, Yamaha definitely.
Yeah, it's like a moto bike.
Yeah, I'd say the old me would definitely go that direction.
Yeah,
but I've kind of worked into that. Quiet or
and that's where like I said, the old Chris, and then Chris started going trail riding, and he realized that the stuff that he liked didn't necessarily work trail riding, and I don't know what happened, but slowly over time he started liking all the same crap that I liked. And he became completely useless as a test rider because it's like, hey, he's saying everything. It's like, you're not helping me. We're doing the same damn thing.
Still fork. You still go a lot softer on the fork than I like.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
So I don't know how to set up forks.
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. For me, I think I set up forks perfect for me.
No, but it's kind of you just kind of showed me the way as far as riding in the rocks, riding in like more extreme enduro stuff. So I started setting bikes up more how you had them set up. But moto, I still like the stiffer, stiffer fork,
Yeah.
kind of a.
Well, you're still
depth.
faster. I'm positive you're way faster than me.
But I see the benefits
Yeah.
of riding the softer fork in rocky situations.
And so
And
me
that's kinda what I like.
me coming from that, like when I have a stiff fork, it never feels settled, and I can't get the bike to turn as much. And like I said, you like to slide a lot of times, and I like to kind of follow my wheels around the turn, and that's a setting thing. And it's not good or
Yeah.
bad. It's just it's like that's your habit or that's your normal.
Yeah. Well,
So-
okay, so you rode my 500 EXC today.
Yes.
So now compared to my old settings and the new settings,
Yeah.
Wait.
The 500 EXC feels stock.
yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it feels pretty close to stock. It's that well, so today we rode some crap, and so we had the 450X, and I was on that, and then Chris was on the 500, and that Honda was such a handful. Again, and it was first and second gear,
Yeah.
and
And slower than first gear.
and slower than first gear a lot of the times. And
Why do you
that,
think I rode so far away from you so we didn't switch bikes in that section? At least till we got on the open road.
yeah, make you switch again. Hey, let me try your bike again, Chris. So, and here that's like comparing that stuff and contrasting, seeing what works and what doesn't. Yeah, and that's where that EXC, the open cartridge fork, the Explore fork, which everybody said, not everybody, but a lot of people complain about. It's still even the X that's supposed to be set up for similar kind of duty, tight technical stuff. I think they really focused on setting the X up for faster stuff, more like Baja type roads, and on the 2-track roads and the fast stuff with the big G outs and
Oh,
stuff like
yeah.
that. It's really good, except for that little bit of top out feel. Did you get that?
Yeah, that
That-
coming
that
out a little
top
bit.
out-
Just
yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
That they need to be worked on, rebuilt.
Oh,
They
yeah.
it just feels like it's time for a service on those things, and but so you can compare all these bikes. I mean, like I said, KTM
Yeah.
doesn't make an XCW anymore. They expect you to use the 500 EXC for that, and okay, you're cheating because it's a 500 and you got it against a 450. But when we did some roll-ons today, and just to see
You
where.
said that 50 cc's.
Yeah, it was
You can
50
see just-
cc's faster. It just had that little bit of torque, and the transmission seemed pretty similar. I mean, spacing, like our third gear to third gear was like the idle speed was the same, top speed was the same. It was just the KTM was, by the time it got to top speed, it was 3 bike lengths ahead,
Yeah.
and it just slowly pulls.
Yeah,
But-
it matched that through every gear.
Yeah.
It was just that slow. Yeah.
So what did the Yamaha do? It blew the doors off the Honda.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I mean, seriously, blew the doors.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't think I was twisting the throttle.
Yeah, I'm like twist
twist
the throttle. I was waiting before I twisted the throttle.
Like I'm twisting the throttle. At the
Yeah,
same
I'm like, what are you
time.
doing? Yeah, that Yamaha is fast.
Yeah, no,
It's
it
really
does- it does
fast.
rip. That's why I think if
It would smoke the 500
Yeah,
easy.
yeah,
Yeah,
No,
it's
would.
it's
It
it's
would.
like it's got an extra 200 cc's of pull.
Yeah, well, that's why it'd be nice to play with some other maps.
Yeah.
To kind of really dial in that pipe
to,
and
to get that thing tuned down.
Yeah.
And here, so we're sitting here kind of talking about the power character. The Yamaha is very fast, but it also has a 5-speed transmission, and so the gearing was a little bit different. And I noticed this when we were kind of idling along. The Yamaha was third gear was a little bit lower than where the KTM or where the Honda was. So it comes on and pulls quicker, and it did definitely ran out. Like when we were hitting the rev limiter and stuff like that, you were going just a little bit faster, even though you were behind me.
yeah, yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It's gearing, and that's
Yeah.
why we went and did it in fourth gear. It seems like fourth gears were kind of pretty similar.
Yeah, it was
Speed
closer,
matched, but it still pulled pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then it runs out at fifth, and you've got an extra gear in the gearbox, and because I think if we did fifth, then it would start getting pulled.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
your
kinda
fifth is
top
lower.
out,
Yeah,
and
your
then it
fifth
would
is
keep
lower than
going.
the sixth. And that's hence the need for a 6-speed transmission and why there's 5 and 6 speeds and gearing plays a role in that kind of stuff. And it's not just you have to kind of check it. It's not just this one's fast because the Yamaha definitely is faster. But then we started riding around a sand track today, and which one pulled better?
Oh, the Honda did.
Yeah, Absolutely.
Well, like you said, it depends on where you're riding
Yeah.
or how you're riding.
You want to know what all that power did on the Yamaha? It made a bigger roost. You had to shift more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you always want a bigger roost.
No, you don't.
Just for looks, right?
Yeah. If you're behind me, I want a bigger roost. I was riding the Honda and you were behind me, and you got on the Yamaha, and then like I let you go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I didn't want to get roosted. I couldn't go that fast. That's what really happened.
No,
So-
but it's like depending on what type of riding you're going to do. Like the Honda worked great for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds, it's quiet, sounds slow, but the thing just pulled.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds
Yeah.
so.
Just
When
put
you were
power to the
behind me,
ground.
when you were right behind me and stuff like that, was I pulling you
On
when we were going around the sand track and when you were behind me because we were close? Did you ever notice? Because sometimes you can tell if you get pulled or not. Were you getting pulled?
Yeah. No.
No.
No. Sorry, that was bad. No. Coming out, like on that hard pack stuff.
Yeah.
Or even deep sand, you could see the Honda pull harder coming out of it, where the Yamaha would just
It was,
kind of spin
and it wasn't. So
and dig
it
in
wasn't
there.
really the power. It was the traction.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the traction, and I felt the same thing. Like the Yamaha, I felt like a lot of times I wanted to downshift.
Yeah.
Because it was a higher gear, I had to use the clutch a lot more to kind of keep the speed in the turn, and then it didn't pick up as well. Where like in the lower gear, it picked right up and then go, and then bang, you'd have to make a shift.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
in all honesty, I felt in that track that we were riding around that the gearing on the Yamaha was slightly off. I was in between. It was probably what, third, fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were
that-
constant back and forth.
Yeah, back and
Yeah.
shifting a lot, and so
But
that's
just short.
That's
felt
one of those things where if that were your race course and you were doing that, you would hopefully change your gearing. Alter
Yeah.
it so you can stay in fourth more, or shift so you're in third more or fourth more. We just change the gearing. So that is kind of it on the power side of things. Which one felt lighter? Gabe. Yamaha. Yeah.
I kind of felt the Honda. The
Really?
Honda
I'm going-
I could kind of.
The reason I deferred to
it
Gabe
around a
because I didn't
little
want to argue with this about it. It's 2-1 right now. we're it's kind of the Yamaha's lighter here, like by a long shot, like in the bars.
Yeah.
The Honda's a little bit lighter when you go like this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So they're both. I mean, for 450s, you think to like the older generation of either of these bikes, it's a huge improvement in weight feel.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, the Yamaha just felt that planted. Kind of like you were saying, that side to side.
So it felt
but
heavy,
just-
planted, good.
Exactly.
It's a good thing. It
The
had a
Honda-
good heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good heavy. You're comfortable, especially in the sand.
Yep.
But the Honda, I could kind of toss that around a little more. I don't know if maybe it could be also motor. Having the Yamaha, having
You can that
snappy-
snap helps make it feel lighter, and that's what Gabe said right away because he's been riding it a lot with the stock muffler, and he said whole different bike, and I agree. You put that pipe on there with the pipe and the ECU combination, it is a whole different bike. It's the ECU livens it up 30% more, and the pipe is 70% more, and it's pretty good. And I suspect that's what a good majority of riders will do with that bike, and I think they should. At least, man, if you have a Yamaha WR, before I would say don't get the WR, just get the FX and figure out how to put lights on it if that's your thing. But I think now that they've made that thing so, it's a race bike.
Oh yeah,
it turned into a race bike today, and I'm sure we could kind of tone it down and make it do what it needs to be doing.
Thank you.
So let's see here. Where are we at with the comments? I forgot what I'm supposed to look at the top of the bottom. Don't I mess this up every week? My producer's supposed to handle this. Let's see. Do you know a guy named Chris Smith?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Chris Smith?
Smith.
That's a really common name, I think. But
Smith is.
yeah. So, yeah. Third moto at Hangtown. Hey, Jared, yeah, if I go to Hangtown, there's always a third moto. You know that. The third moto is after the second moto, the pros, when they're all done. I go out and run a lap around the national track just because I want to look at the lines, but I generally drink a beer right before I do it, and I challenge some young kid, and I don't make him drink beer. I say, hey, you can drink a Red Bull or something like that, and it's interesting. Chris Real is here. Chris helps me. Chris does a lot of the sound testing and works a lot with our OHV sound issues. Helps me out whenever we have issues with sound and stuff. Good to see Chris out there. And let's see. I think I'm going the wrong way. This way. Let's see. David Manriquez. Here we go. This is Dave. I just rode JC's new X at the Nationals first round away back and surprised at how good it was. Well, it's not as good as a Yamaha. I just said that out loud. No, just kidding. I like riding in first through third gear. That's probably my problem. If I'm going to ride faster than that, they're both really good bikes.
They are.
Let's see. Morgan's out there. Morgan had me on his podcast a few weeks back. Go watch the Gospel of Two Wheels. Search it on the Facebooks. He's out here. He's got his thing set up as a podcast now. He has some interesting people. Always has something interesting to say. Is Dave Camershy? Who's Dave? Dave's not here. We don't know who Dave is. And San Felipe Bob, of course, wants a 6-speed Yamaha because San Felipe Bob is a Yamaha guy. Yeah, I don't think anything would hurt having a 6-speed inside of that bike. I don't think there would be any downfall to it. It would just go faster. Okay. One thing I was going to talk about, because somebody asked me, it was to talk about how to set up suspension. Like what do you do? What are the steps? And you've done so much testing and development testing and stuff. You can help us with that. And then I wrote this note down here, and I can't even read what I wrote.
I can't read it either.
Yeah. How is hey John, I found a replacement for you. Yeah, Big John, he's since episode 1 of this stuff, he was supposed to come in and because he rides a lot of the test bikes too, and we were going to talk about bikes, and he's a bigger guy, so he can kind of speak to that. And so guess what, we got you and too bad you had to work, because the riding was epic the last couple days. Those jobs, they really suck. Okay, I'm going to go back to some of the questions that we had on our things. I had Peter Foster, who a couple days ago asked me, he says has a 2014 WR450, and he says I'm using the bush map, which signifies to me that he is in Australia. Okay. Which means they have an unlocked ECU down there. So it's kind of like having a competition ECU here in the United States. On the older one, you had to plug the power tuner into it. I know we have one sitting on the wall around here. We use those all the time. He sent me his map, and he's 3 leaner on some of the early low throttle, low RPM positions, and then he's knocked the ignition down 5. And he says that's his perfect bush map, but his bike is still running really rich. Now, since this is an Australian bike, it could be a little bit different than what we see in the United States here, but he's only down 3, and I know you can lean a lot more than that. And it may be, if you're really 0 throttle and, or just quarter throttle or a quarter of RPM where you've leaned it out, if, there's a few more zeros out there that he still could lean stuff out in. So I'm wondering if he's actually riding it above the position that he's leaned out, and he could lean it out more. And then also sometimes when you retard the ignition, it gives it the sensation of being rich. It makes it kind of feel dead, similar to a rich feeling. And I always try to explain this to people. When you're tuning, think about fuel as traction. If you want more traction, add more fuel, make it richer. If you want less traction, take fuel away, make it leaner. The bike feels like it spins more when it's leaner. It's more lively. When you're talking about ignition, when you want more throttle response, like snap, make the ignition advanced. And if you want the throttle response dead, like maybe you're too snappy with your wrist and you don't want it to respond that much, then retard the ignition. And so there's a little bit of crossover, but that's how you think about it. And if you're using that Yamaha power tuner, do not be afraid to take it all the way to the maximum, whatever lean or rich is. They've designed it. They will not let you hurt that motorcycle with their power tuner. So you can kind of experiment with it and see if that sensation goes away. That's what I would do to try to rectify. And his problem is he doesn't want to lose the map that he has because he feels like it works good. It's just kind of coming up with a happy balance, and that's why you can change it. And it's usually a lot better if you just say, "Hey, Jimmy, send us your bush map," and I send it to you, and it's perfect, and you don't have to do that. But everything's a little bit different. Even when I send people maps, I would hope that they actually try changing them a little bit and see if you can make it better. It's kind of a base map because everybody, like I said, everybody's different, and now with the new Power Tuner app on the phone, you can actually change the positions. You're not locked into, it's not just 10, 40, 80% or whatever it is. You can actually adjust the positions where that stuff works. So
I think that's the biggest thing is just playing with it.
Yeah.
You can always change it back. You find a setting you like, make sure you know what it is and then play with it.
Yeah. What do we do all day today in your 500?
You just keep clicking away on that.
What do we do? Yeah. So we put a JD jetting tuner on Chris's 500 today, and everybody knows I'm a fan of those. And that's what we were doing is bouncing around, playing with the tune and the setting of that. And it's easy, and there's nothing wrong with changing it. Just got to, as long as you kind of keep track of where you're at and know where to go.
Yeah.
And it'll be all good. So that's how I would tune my map. Let's see. What was this question? I know that somebody actually threw us a compliment. I was going to read off the compliment because I like to pat myself on the back every once in a while.
Oh, that was me. I got on my phone while we were sitting here and complimented us.
Let's see. Why do I? Oh no. See, I'm using a computer again. I'm not very good at this. Chris, you're gonna have to take over there. Just freestyle for a little while.
Bike is good.
we really had that happen. That was hard 3 days ago. Okay, here I found it. So Fred B on the Discuss said, "Thanks for the honest review. So many of the reviewers don't know the intended market and purpose of this bike." And he's talking about the Honda CR 450L, which you rode. Mm-hmm. And if you go to dirtbiketest.com, you see the pictures. Guess who's in all those photos, or most of them?
You are.
No, you are.
Oh.
I just put myself in the lead photo. It's kind of like I used to do at the magazine. I put myself on the cover of the magazine.
Of course.
Yeah, it's, so you're the main photo model. So you did get to ride that, and that's kind of similar to the 450X. So you have ridden stock ones. So anyways, many of the reviewers don't know the intended market and purpose of this bike, then proceed to rip it without looking at the value and components put in this bike. I'm someone who fits the market for this bike. Having said that, I'm more interested in the KTM 350 EXCF for the performance and the aftermarket fuel tanks. Yet this bike has a subframe which would be better for carrying soft luggage and some true dual sport travel. You hit it on the head. I mean, that's and start talking about durability and things like that. And that's always the thing. People start looking at the service intervals like, geez, you have to change the piston at 20 hours. How many hours do you have? So you have an X Supercross race bike, Honda 450. How many hours are on your top end right now?
I couldn't tell you. I don't even have an hour meter on
it.
That's why. But that dirt rider bike we had, that 09 450 Honda.
Yeah.
We had 100 and...
That was the one we tore all apart, right?
Yeah.
And it was brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
We had 120, 140 hours on it.
Yeah.
And it looked like, piston looked brand new.
Brand new.
Cylinder, perfect. Yeah.
So with, so he's talking about just the different things, the durability and the good parts and stuff. And sometimes you have to go, well, this is going to fit me better than that. Like we're sitting here arguing about Honda and Yamaha on this one, or maybe KTM. And everybody knows that I like the only bike in the world is Husaberg, but I got a divorce. Last we had a moment on was it Saturday afternoon? It's Friday night. When did we had a big blow up in here? My exhaust pipe actually physically wore out. I know most people have never worn out. You ever worn out an exhaust pipe?
No.
Okay, I've never seen front forks fade, but I have worn out an exhaust pipe. I'm not talking about the muffler. I'm talking about the pipe physically where the muffler junction, because that thing has a plastic gas tank / subframe, and the muffler moves and flexes a lot on it. It wore a hole in the muffler. The pieces, somebody go grab the pieces. They're on the ground right over here. Don't hit me on the head with them, too. So anyways, I mean, I suspect that could happen on other bikes, but not like it did on the Husaberg because of the subframe thing I always talked about. And I literally almost had to remove the engine to get that pipe out of there. That 70-degree 4-stroke motor that I talked about. Husabergs are great until you have to work on them. Gabe is digging through the rubbish. Yeah, give me that part right there.
Keep walking into the screen.
Yeah. He's going to stay out of the screen because he doesn't want to be identified. So right here, this is actually, it's it's pretty worn out. I'll hang it up there. How do you like my pipe? Right there. So this pipe is garbage, but it wraps itself up underneath the frame. I got it out there, but I had to take the gas tank off, the subframe off, the shock out. The engine mount off, and then you have to do this like ballet moving dancing thing to get it to come out. And luckily I had another pipe, and nobody makes those things anymore. So I'm going to be done when that one wears out. But so anyways, we're kind of like me and the Husaberg are not getting along. I usually take her out for a little rip when it rains like that, because there's nothing like 570 cc's of fuel injected 4-stroke power. But now she sat in the corner with her new pipe and everything. I just want to. Okay,
I'll take it off your hands.
No, wait.
No
Doesn't your dad?
He's ready.
He's ready.
He's ready
to buy one. Yeah.
No, I mean, you haven't let me ride that thing in a while.
They're great as long as you
love
don't.
that bike.
They're great as long as you don't have to work on them. So I'm gonna it probably will not get run until like the fall. I'm thinking, unless we have thunder showers and I forget what happened.
Well, no, as soon as you're
Saturday.
done working on it, we'll take it off your hands.
So, anyway, no, I was trying to get at that we like KTM 500s.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best bike in the world. So I don't know why you even mentioned the KTM 350 there, Fred. I mean, what, did you find out that I'm buying one right now? Oh, you watched the video on Dirt Bike Test where I said I'm buying a KTM 350. That's because I'm getting old and I'm not strong anymore, so I have to ride a girl's bike. Or I bought it for my wife, and that's a lesson you should learn. Make sure your wife likes the motorcycle that you're buying because it's hers. Okay. Christopher Maurice was very thankful for the review Trevor Hunter did on the Mobius wrist brace, because he has a bad wrist and he was looking for something like that. So, and then Paul wanted to have us add the modded RM X450Z to our comparison with the WR450F and the Honda CR450X. You think we just got all the free time in the world to modify these bikes? And if we were like the other editorial outlets, we'd just have some dude, just some guy do all the work for us, and they'd just bring it. We'd stand around in front of we'd stand next to the bike, and we'd do a video where we talk about the bike before we rode it while it was all pretty, and then we ride it for 20 minutes, and then we talk about it afterwards, and that would be a full video test.
Sounds about right.
No, it sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Let's see. Somebody was asking about the lube that I use with mooses. He thought I maybe had some special secret
That would
lube.
be Hams.
No,
America's classic.
Yeah, I use the recommended lube for whatever, if the stuff that they send with it, that's what I use. When I start using stuff like Murphy soap or Vaseline or motor oil or whatever, and then it fails, that's because I used Murphy soap or Vaseline or whatever, and I didn't use it. But it's still, I can blame it on the moose, right?
God, I've never changed a moose. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, it's a messy experience. You get to play with lube. So use the recommended one. When I have been run into problems, I do not use the soaps because the soaps tend to, believe it or not, wash out. They don't like water. So especially if you're in wet environments, do not use the soaps. I tend to use a petroleum lube if I have to. So I will default to Vaseline if it comes to that. So just in case you were wondering what is on my hands. Okay, I'm going to kind of roll back into the questions we have going here. Let's see. Mark thought Dave D was here. No, Dave's not here. I'm positive Dave's not here. I invited Dave. I rode with Dave last weekend. Dave is on the KTM 350 video that we just put up there. Dave will be on the WR 400 or WR 450 impression video also because he rode that bike.
Does that mean I'm fired? They want Dave back already?
Stop it.
Checking.
Okay, so there's really two people that'll go trail riding with me without asking a lot of questions, and Chris is one of them, and Dave is the other. Everybody else says, "Hey, Jimmy, I want to go trail riding," and I go, "No, you don't. Not with me." So they go without asking any questions. Everybody else, there's like 20 questions. Do I need a big tank? When are we going to be home? What gearing do I have? Should I bring food? Those are all really simple questions.
Yeah, those are easy.
Yeah.
Beef jerky.
Yeah.
After
Kate's
dark.
bars. Yeah, Kate's bars after dark.
Kate's
Yeah.
bars.
So it's I wrote a column about this one time that explained the criteria for going riding. If you go riding with me, you're going to run out of one of three things. You're going to run out of daylight. You're going to run out of gasoline in your motorcycle. You're going to run out of energy in your body.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Okay.
at least one of them, right?
I ran out of energy in my body today, I think. Almost. I don't remember. So you can do something very easily about two of those things. You can get a bigger gas tank or carry gas. Chris, we had bigger gas tanks on our motorcycle take, correct?
And I carried a gallon of gas.
And we needed every ounce of it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Did we have headlights?
Yes.
Do we need them?
No.
We could have.
Yeah.
But we had to get back here to do this.
Exactly.
Okay. And then when everything was going great and I didn't feel like I used any energy, what do we do?
Go find some rocks to ride through.
Extreme enduro.
Exactly.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to see what's over there.
And I really wished you would have caught up to me so you could have taken that Honda from me. So,
Like, oh, he's stuck on that rock. Oh, I'm stuck on this rock back here.
yeah. Okay. San Felipe Bob mentioned that on car engines, retarding the timing enriches the burn. I don't know specifically about that, but that sounds good to me. It sounds accurate to me just from my experience. So maybe the retarding that I forget the guy's name it did would hurt that. So does the Yamaha make something like a Power Commander no longer worthwhile? Chris Smith. This is the guy that doesn't like you, I think.
Probably it sounds sure there's a lot out there.
Yeah, I think well, Yamaha's tool is essentially like getting a tunable ignition and fuel controller. They won't let you go as far as something like a Vortex ignition, and for sure it makes something like a JD Jetting tuner sort of obsolete because you can do what the JD Jetting tuner does with your phone. I know that they make them for bikes that are equipped with this, so you can do it easier on the fly. I would say that it would be easier to just push buttons on the crossbar pad than it is to pull my phone out and send maps because it's kind of instant and you can do it while you're riding.
Yeah.
Even though you're not supposed to, you can. I mean, you're not supposed to because they don't want you taking your hands off the handlebars. But we do it on dry lakes
all day
only.
long.
Huh?
It was all day long.
Yeah.
It was
Playing with buttons.
punch at it. Yeah.
Yeah, at least your phone's in your pocket and you just go riding. It's like, come on, Jimmy, can't we just go riding? It's like, no, I can make this better.
See, you pull your cell phone out, you get a cell phone ticket
Oh, yeah.
if you're on the road.
So I
true.
do think the Yamaha tuner and as well as like the HRC tuning tool that you can use with Hondas, stuff like that makes the JD Jetting one a little bit obsolete, but that's the thing. Fred Burris, read your review of the Beta 125 RRS. Seems like it would be a pretty cool camp bike, wife's bike, etc. Hats off to Beta for bringing to this U.S. market. Do you know if it's actually available? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's how he tested it. Couldn't find one with a quick search of SoCal dealers. It's kind of I'm sure they don't bring a whole lot of those in there because it is kind of a niche bike, but they're out there. I know I just saw a press release where they showed their 2019 or 2020, model lineup, one of the two. The years get blurred, and it was in there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're out there. If not, go to their website and search and ask there. You can you can do that. San Felipe Bob is telling us how many hours are on his WR250 that we rebuilt once. Actually, he had like 4 or 5 of those things, motors and stuff. See, and there, Chris is helping him out. The 125 RR, Chris is helping him there. That's good. See, talking about the build your own beta program, that's good. A 175 kit. Ooh. Hey, Eric from Wolfman is out there in our chat room. I have his. I wish I could remember the names of the bags, the modular bag kit that I could have put that on one of the bikes we were riding today, very simply,
And put the gas in it.
and put the gas
Instead
in
on
it.
my back.
Yeah, but I set it on your
No,
back.
no.
Justin Bradley, you already did a long-term RMX 450Z. I know, a couple years ago when it was new. And if my brain cells were better, I could recite off exactly how that worked. In fact, one of my helpers at my school, kid by the name of Grant Morton, who shout out to Baja Bound, that's Tim Morton's son. He has an RMX 450Z. I always want to say RMZ, but it's RMX 450Z. He had one that I just rode recently that was set up very similar. In fact, I thought it was our old test bike because it had the same stuff done to it.
Yeah.
And so I could comment a little bit. I think it would be a fair evaluation or comparison to bring it in. But I'll tell you that I know that the Suzuki, it does a lot of the Suzuki things. It turns great. It loves smooth, not bumpy stuff. And then once it really starts getting rough, the bike doesn't like it. So it doesn't like chop. It's a stiff chassis, which kind of helps the way it turns. And I bet you it would feel a little bit heavier than the other bikes. It takes the same kind of monkeying with to get it to run good, similar like the Yamaha. It's not like the Honda. The Honda you get full throttle with right off the showroom floor. So we will try to hopefully that answered your question. Mark Daniels, Nitro Moose versus Michelin Moose, your opinion, please. I have been having very, very good luck with the Nitro Moose, and we're kind of right now in a durability test with the soft ones, where we've been running them at dual sport type conditions to be abusive to them, and I'm still very happy with them. The Michelin Mooses have always been kind of the standard, and there's been a lot of companies that have come in and tried to duplicate or replicate them. It's still the ones everybody is using at the rallies. So they have a slightly different feel. I want to say the Nitro Moose feels a little bit more like a tube. It's not as springy as the Michelin can be, and so I kind of tend to prefer the Nitro Moose right now. Just they seem like and the durability is it's greater. I just don't have an exact figure on how much longer they last. The Nitro Moose seems to be a little less finicky. And remember when I talked about all the stupid stuff you could put inside of a Moose? I tried it with the Nitro Moose on purpose. Let's see. Is that your dad?
Oh, there he is.
Dad's checking you out on the
Yeah.
podcast?
He's on it.
Mike Barrett used to ride with us all the time at Dirt Rider. Chris's dad used to come out, test with us. He was one of our old vet senior riders. And he agrees with San Felipe Bob on the retarding the timing.
There you go.
And he would know. He's definitely a techie guy with that. And Chris Rowell has a question. Jimmy, when you were doing the test on the KTM 300 TPI, did you do any EFI mapping? No, I didn't. They didn't have a tuner for that just yet. But I will tell you that from the time I rode it over in Austria to the time I rode it here 2 different times, KTM has done some tuning to it. They've updated their maps, and it was noticeable. So, and I know JD makes a tuner for that now, and I would love to try it. Because it's funny, I bet you most people that ride that bike, the first thing they notice is that it seems lean, the fuel-injected 2-stroke. Did you ever ride one of those with us?
I have not ridden.
Have not ridden one.
No, I wasn't invited out to ride that.
You were working.
Yeah.
You were doubling for the Rock. The Rock needed somebody to ride his dirt bike for him, and you popped a wheelie and did a jump. Yeah, check Chris's Instagram feed that he never puts his stuff on. So I would like to do it because they definitely kind of feel lean, and they're so smooth that I know with some fuel tuning specifically, you could probably get that kind of that brap, the snap that everybody's claiming the bikes lack. I don't want it, but you'd want it. You'd want a fuel tuner.
Yeah,
some snap.
Oh, maybe. But no, it's just funny how 2-strokes. They came out of the 4-strokes took over motocross, supercross. They tried to make them like the 2-strokes.
Yeah.
Now they started trying to make the 2-strokes like the 4-strokes.
Like 4-strokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, remember the very first fuel injected 4-strokes. They came out and they were super, super smooth.
Yeah.
And nobody liked them because the throttle response was instant.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, it's because the 4-stroke, you just turn the throttle and it just go, bah!
Yeah, exactly.
And, okay, that's hit. That's power.
Yeah.
That's what people thought. And then the first ones, they actually had to tune that into the 4-stroke. And now the 2-stroke is that way, where it's instant.
Yeah.
And you don't have that, and it's like, okay, now it has no hit.
Like, oh, it's slow.
And we've all learned to use that hit and, to our advantage, where actually a lot of times it gets you in trouble. And so it's funny because it's like this time I think the engineers were right. They made it. They're trying to make it perfect, and perfect on a 2-stroke feels lean. You're like, oh, this thing's going to seize.
Yeah.
Because in your old carbureted days, it probably would if you ran it that lean. So I have not had a chance to tune with that, but I will in the future. I see Jenny Henriksen. That was the bike that I put the tuner on today. It's Marco's wife's bike. That was the one. So your tuner's on. Now it just needs to be tuned. I got to find time to tune it. And Marco said the snowboarding was no good. It was too windy up in Mammoth, so don't rush. Wait till next week. So, okay. I have lots of time with the Michelin bibs, no time on Nitro Mooses. But thanks for the response before I spend the dollars on the nitros. Yeah, Mark, no problem. That's what we're here for. We try to answer stuff, and I try to be as honest as I possibly can when I do this stuff. If you ever need to defer back to something, go look on the website. We do the tests and the write-ups, and we try to be as detailed as possible. And like the reason I write it is because I generally forget it about 30 minutes after I file the story, and then it takes a little while to go back in the memories because I get lost. So, is respringing my bike a big deal if I'm mostly trail riding? Eric Hermstad? HJ. That's Herm.
Yeah, you butchered that.
Herm is what you call your friend in San Diego. Don't ask me why, but I know. So, Eric, sorry about butchering your last name. So it depends. So respringing, it depends on your weight. Generally, your weight determines the springs you should be using, regardless of what what you're using it for. But then, really, you're using the valving to kind of handle the character more than the springs. I mean, if you put springs that are too stiff or too soft, nothing else is going to work. It's too stiff, it's going to hold it up in the stroke. It's not going to use the stroke. Too soft, you're going to be mushed down, packing, stuff like that. So, if you have the proper weight springs, which means you can achieve sag, proper static sag, and then with rider on the bike sag. I was going to talk about how to set up suspension. You're going to have to hold that for next week. So this is where we're going to start off next week. It was on the top of my list, but then I wrote tequila for today on top, and we got kind of thing. But
skipped it.
we'll talk about how to set up suspension. And the difference between spring and valving and what you should do, and depending on what kind of bike you're using for what, we'll get into that, Eric. I apologize for butchering the name, and we'll answer your question right off the top next time. I hope so. Rodrigo wants to know: do you recommend drilling big holes in your mooses or using smaller sizes for your tires, gumming hard endros? You know what? Rodrigo, here's the luck is I like riding so much different stuff. I will take a normal like a normal standard desert moose or something like that, use it for 3 tires in desert, faster dual sport applications. It'll get soft, then I start running it in my gummy extreme enduro tires. So I have this Moose life cycle. So what you need to do, this is what you should do. You need to find a guy who likes dual sport riding, and you need to buy his mooses, or you buy him one for every 3 moose that he uses, and then you get his worn out ones, and then you don't have to drill the holes, because when you drill the holes, they start collapsing and they do get softer, but they also wear quicker and they're more prone to failure in my experience. Mark Snyder's talking about his medical conditions. He's saying old German beer is much hipper than PBR and ham. So you just take care of yourself there. I'm still waiting for my PBR sponsorship. It's not happening. Your dad says hi, by the way. Chris Smith is claiming the 300 TPI is awesome. That's good. I think we all agree on that. That will be the next motorcycle I buy right after I buy this KTM 350, I think. You know, KTM, we should talk about this. KTM came out, KTM released their new bikes today. Husky released their new bikes, not released, but information. The big news is fuel-injected XC bike. So the motocross bikes are still going to be carbureted. But the XC bike now, so obviously they're learning a little bit more about making a more aggressive setting and stuff. The XC bike is now fuel-injected, and I believe there's no 250, but there's only a 300, and it is fuel-injected. And I guess who joined? Your wife. Your wife's on there. She's checking on you, making sure you're. Let's see. Everybody says I should get a Recluse clutch. What do you think? Mostly rode in first and second gear. I do not have any problems with Recluse clutches. I have them on most of my personal bikes, and today I was complaining because I had to use this all day long because we put the stock clutch back into not the stock clutch, but the Torque Drive Recluse back into the Honda because we wanted to make it so it wasn't like a cheater bike. So, yes. Let's see. What other questions do we have? We're going to start. Chris, it's past your bedtime.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. Now everybody on the internets, the Facebooks know that. Yeah. Any news on the 150 XCW getting TPI? I do not have that news. And of course, Andrew from Rescue 3 wants to know why I do not have any Peebs tonight. Like I said, sponsorship deals are tough. Hams it is. So, thank you for joining. We'll get to the suspension question next time. I want to again thank everybody for.
Oh, that's your thank you line.
That's the thank you. That's a thank you for something. I don't know. What did I write? Maybe I was probably thank you for Yamaha getting me that GYTR muffler so we could get going with the testing, the modified bike. Oh, I know. Hand me those things. That's why I had them sitting over here. So, check these things out here. So this is we'll do that. Billet Racing. Look at that beautiful thing. So we're gonna finish on this is going on our 450X, and probably a good thing. You should see the rock I took out with the chain guide, the TM Design Works chain guide, and it totally survived.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it survived, but it
like
hit.
You said, aluminum one would have just.
Yeah, an aluminum chain guide wouldn't have. The stock chain guide wouldn't have been there, but this is a nice aluminum shark fin disc protector. We have a TM Design Works one on there now, but we test a lot of different stuff, and these are radiator guards, and I'm hoping that it's bulletproof designs. I'm hoping that it's not too late because these are precision fit. And I know that bike, well, it wasn't that one didn't tip over today. So we're going to throw those on our bike. It's kind of the next project we have working on. All you Wolf guys, come on, claim it. Which one of you guys left this radio strand? And the beer is room temperature. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going a little bit over tonight. We will see you next Tuesday. Big things planned. And I see questions popping up, but that's why you got to show up at 7 o'clock and not 8 o'clock. So cheers. We'll see you out on the trail.